On this episode of Patriot Games, the boys are heading north with a convoy of heavy touring gear. But the recent rain causes havoc when the boys get stuck one after the other.
So this is going to be your first winch recovery, buddy. Just head straight towards the road.
The R&D continues as Justin attempts to tow his latest trailer behind a buggy on the sandy shores of far north Queensland.
Oh, don't like that. Yeah, boy.
And the boys discover a secluded paradise which is almost perfect. Almost.
How was that rain and that wind last night?
Yeah, that was hectic.
That sucked, huh?
Sheet metal was my livelihood, but I never thought I'd be building gear like this. Every week, we turn tons of steel into rolling works of art. Some of the toughest gear in the world comes out of this factory. Building this gear is only half the fun. No one tests like we do.
That's it, mate. Dude, I've got it. My passion is taking my family to the edges of the earth. Life's a game. We know how to play it. Patriot Games.
It's morning and the buzz around camp is electric. It's day 3 of an expedition to the northernmost tip of Australia, and Justin Montesalvo is leading an R&D trip to test the trailers he manufactures out of his factory on the Gold Coast.
Waking up that next morning, it was a little bit surreal thinking about what had happened the past couple of days' events. Everything that we'd experienced, and I got to experience with my brothers and my sons and my old man, getting my father his first fish, out on the little adventure with the twins in the tinny as the sun's coming up in croc-infested waters, the boys catching all the barra that they wanted, the helicopter, catching a pig by hand, something that I've wanted to do really my whole life since I started hunting, but I've never had the opportunity to do it. Everything happened so well at that property, it was like clockwork. It's really going to be hard to top it, but I've still got a few adventures up my sleeve.
It's a new day, and it'll be hard to beat catching a wild pig by hand out of a chopper or heli fishing for barra. But this epic adventure has only just begun.
We had a few conversations amongst us as we were packing up about what the tracks were going to be like on the way back out. Now, obviously, it had a couple of days for the wet to subside, the water to come off the tracks, but we knew with 6 vehicles going in there, with 6 trailers, we knocked the top off everything. We knew that we were going to have an adventure getting out of there, and there was going to be a few recoveries. Lift it up a little bit more, buddy.
Yep.
The boys load up their trailers and prepare to leave the private property where they've been camping for the last couple of nights.
But I had no idea just how tough it was going to be. So far, the black truck had soaked up everything that we'd thrown at it. But the way out, that was an adventure on its own. Let's go. And to be honest, it was a little bit embarrassing being the first one to get stuck. I hit a mud hole that we came through, and we knew it was pretty tough. Second gear low, giving the 79 the beans, giving it as much as I could, just couldn't get through it. I'm in the pass again, and I am over it. I tried to take another line and ended up in the pass, and the only way to get it out was getting the winch out. Bobby, you're gonna have to bring that X1 around, dude. Hook up a snatch strap or put together a couple of snatch straps. Get up on this grass here and hit it with the, or at least give me something to winch off. So if you get up into this grass, mate, I'll run my front winch out, yeah?
Justin's brother Jamie connects the front and rear winches to some nearby trees. But Justin's got a plan to make this recovery a little bit extraordinary.
All right, close that bonnet. So being that we're on private property, the thought entered into my head, it was really time for the boys to step up. Now, Christian and Ashton, they drive the 79 and they've been driving my trucks around private property for a long time now. So those two boys, they actually really know what they're doing. But this was the time for me to show my son something brand new. Now, Ash, seeing as we're on private property, mate, you're actually allowed to drive. Put your seatbelt on. So this is going to be your first winch recovery, buddy.
Yeah.
All right? There's a first for everything when you got kids, and you never forget the first time they ride a bike or drive a tinny or even drive the boat. But I know that I will never ever forget the first time that my son actually got his first winch recovery. Now, so what you want to do, you got your seat in, yeah?
Yep.
Jam him into first gear. I'm going to do the winch, yeah? Put your window up so you don't get coated in mud. Bit the aircon so we're nice and cool and relaxed, yeah?
Yeah.
Tip your hat up, mate. Okay, so the opportunity was there. We had the thing in the hole, had all the gear out, plenty of people around, kept it nice and safe. We kept everybody away from the winch. I put Ashton in the driver's seat and there was no hesitation from him whatsoever. What we're going to do, we're going to put into first gear. What you want to do is you want to let the winch do the work, yeah? You're not going to try and drive it. The winch is going to actually pull you out. All you want to do is just keep the tyres turning. So put it into first, yeah?
Yep.
Slowly let the clutch out, mate.
Yep.
Put into first gear. Slowly let the clutch out as I start pulling. So we're winching, clutch out, nice and slow. Clutch out, you probably don't even need any throttle, mate. Clutch out, let the clutch out, give it a little bit of gas. That's it, just keep the revs up just that little bit, mate. Yeah?
Yep.
All right, maybe a little bit more. Let's help that winch a bit. Turn left, turn left, turn left, turn the wheels. That's it. Okay, that's enough throttle. Just keep it like that. Just keep the wheels just turning. Back off the throttle a little bit. Back off the throttle, that's it. Just keep those wheels just turning, mate. And all we're doing is we're just kind of helping the winch, trying to get a little bit of momentum. And that's one of the things I love so much about my boys. They are ready for any opportunity that comes up. They're the first ones to jump in, and there's no hesitation. If Dad can do it, I can do it. Okay, stop there, mate. Stop there, clutch in. Reposition that winch, okay?
Justin jumps out to reposition the winch and guides Ashton through his first ever recovery.
All right, buddy, turn to the right a little bit. Turn to the right, that's it. Just head straight towards the rope. Well done, mate, well done, good job. Keep looking where you're going. Just go straight towards the tree. Watch where you're going, man. Go hard left, a bit more to the left. That's it. That's it, buddy. Bit to the left, bit to the left. Get that trailer out of the mud. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Stop there, buddy. Stop there, clutch in. Dude, good drive. Yes. Well done, brother. That's your first recovery.
Oh,
your first winching session.
Yep.
There's going to be many of them to come. Well done, mate. Proud of you, buddy. To me, it makes me so proud as a father to be there to witness those first events.
With the black truck and toy hauler out of the muddy track, the rest of the team drive through, a little more cautiously.
Yeah, Tom. Well done, man. Well, look, driving a manual for anybody at the best of times, it can be quite difficult. I know my wife still struggles when she jumps in the 79 every now and again. It takes her a little bit to get used to it. But like I said, the kids are really well experienced and I've given them every opportunity to show them as much as possible. When they get out into the real world and they're out there on their own, they're going to know exactly what's going on. And for them to have that confidence to give anything a go, as a father, I know I've done my job right. Well, that was a little bit of fun for the morning. Let's, we're on a pretty tight schedule now. Let's try and not get bogged again, eh?
I like that plan.
I've got to be honest, a little bit embarrassing. Like the big 7-ton 200 series just plows through that thing. Yeah, I was going to say, I think there was only one person that got stuck back there, wasn't it, everyone? I took the wrong line, mate, all right?
It happens.
We didn't.
It can happen to the best of us.
Tommy, how'd the little mule go through there, mate?
Mate, just like a dream, eh? It's unbelievable what this car can do.
It's like a little dreamboat. Maybe I need to get out of a Landcruiser and go back to a Hilux, eh?
You're definitely missing out on a few features that the Hilux has.
Talk me through it, Tom.
3 litre, 4-cylinder, turbo diesel, fuel efficiency like no other.
Have we got comfort?
Mate,
Yeah,
comfort in this thing is like...
so comfortable.
It's like the old 80 series. That's what this thing drives like.
So the winching kind of got a little bit frustrating. We all had a shower, we were nice and clean after packing up camp. We were planning on getting into another camp that night. I didn't really want to get out of the truck and get all filthy, neither did anybody. But eventually, we made it back to the homestead. As we pulled into the homestead, I got the call on the radio. Joe was stuck with the big 730. Joe, Justin, mate, how you going back there?
Having a bit of a tough time, mate.
What's happened?
Wasn't watching where I was going, took it too easy, and yeah, just lost sand, just sunk down.
All right, Roger, mate, I'm on my way back. I'll be there in a minute. Now, he's rolling about 7 tonnes, so it was really no surprise. I made the call. I've got the winches. I've got all the recovery gear. I didn't bother to unhitch the trailer, which is probably a mistake right there in its own. Turned around, headed back through the mud pits, and found him. I come up on him, stuck in a track with the trailer in a hole. Mate, I'll turn it around and just hook off the back and I'll drive you out.
Yeah, sweet, mate. She's in there a bit deep. We've already yanked the tree out, but we'll be right.
Yeah, Roger, no dramas. I'm gonna enjoy this anyway. I tried to recover him from the front. We pulled the front winch out, but he just wasn't budging. He wasn't moving at all. Now, he was blocking the entire track. There was really no way around him. So I drove around him, just going off track. Now, typically speaking, that's a massive no-no. Everybody knows you stay on the tracks, especially when it's wet and the situations that we were in. But unfortunately, there was really just no way around him. So as I pulled around him, I've come up off the track, and sure enough, as I come to a stop, bang, left side of the truck falls straight into a hole. And it was like quicksand, that stuff, and really like quicksand. You could barely even walk on it, let alone park 6 tonne on it. I'm pretty sure we're in there.
Yeah.
Like good and proper stuck.
Yeah.
And Joe's truck stuck as well. So the pair of them are stuck. I don't think it was a good idea us coming back to get them out. Look at the holes, mate. Look how soft this stuff is. So we just tried to drive around Joe's truck. Look at that. So as soon as you come off the edge of that hard packed track, bang, you're in it. It's just like quicksand, yeah? Let's go and see how the boys are doing. Because the only way that we're getting out now is if they get out, because the only way we're coming out is backwards. We're not going any further forward.
So Justin rolls up in his big black 79 series, the beast of a truck, to rescue us. And when I look around the corner, he's a bit stuck. I kind of smiled inside because I knew I'd be the one pulling him out and not him recovering us.
How you boys going?
Struggling.
Have you seen my truck?
What, have you seen mine?
I am, no, yours looks good compared to mine. The only way that I'm getting out is if you get out. I can't go anywhere, I'm jammed. I can't go forward.
All right.
I have to go back, so we've got to get this out. You want some max tracks? Let's dig all the front of this out. We'll get some max tracks underneath it. We got something to winch off of. This side's all right. I reckon if we just get a couple under the front, put the front lockers in with the winch, I think we'll be all right. Yanni, do you want to grab some max tracks out of our trailer, mate?
The Max Tracks provide much needed traction and keep the winch from ploughing the heavy vehicle through the mud.
Yep. No, that's just sludge, eh? The boys actually managed to recover themselves. They pulled out a couple of winch extensions and got the white truck out and got the 730 out. Go, 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 go. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. That's it, mate, you're out. You're out. Did you drop the trailer off?
But
Yeah, mate, good idea. All right, no dramas. Do you want to back up onto me and we'll get a snatch strap out and snatch me out, eh?
With Joe's truck free, the boys rigged their winches to recover Justin's black truck and the 7-metre toy hauler behind it. But with the left side so deep in the mud, this won't be easy.
You want to lock everything in?
Yep, lock everything in. Maybe leave your front locker off just so you don't bust it. Rear locker, low range.
Copy that.
When you're ready, bud.
Can I?
I've got a bit of a feeling we're going to end up going over here, eh?
Do you want me to rear winch out?
I think it might be safer, dude. The angle that I'm on now, I think a good pull, there's every chance this thing could go over.
Commence rear winching. Repeat. Commence rear winching. Justin, you got me?
I got whip.
Yeah, mate, gotcha.
Hey, Dad.
I'm going to give you a bit of a pull now if you just want to give a slow rotate.
Rogie, commencing rotation. Rotation has commenced. Do we have any movement?
No, mate, she's just pulling us backwards. We go again.
Which winch are you pulling on, front or rear?
No, just pulling us. We're going to pull the trailer out by itself.
Hook the front winch onto something.
The owner of the property has spotted the megabogging from the sky and flies over for a closer look.
Justin, mate, how you going?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Yeah, not too good, mate. I'm sorry about your road too, dude. We've made a mess down here, eh?
I don't have any machines big enough to pull you out, sort of thing. I don't know how your winches are.
Look, we'll get it out. Well, sure enough, we'll get it out. We'll figure it out. So that's all good, mate. Go do what you got to do. If I don't catch you on the way out, mate, thank you very much for having us again. I really appreciate it, mate.
All right. See ya.
All right, plan F. Realistically, being that I've got a 6.5 metre trailer on the back of the truck, there was no way of getting it out backwards. And with that sort of weight, I really hesitated in disconnecting the trailer. I've been in a few situations like that before. Once the trailer comes off, it's very, very difficult to get it back on. You know what the problem is with this though? How do we get the trailer back on? While we're connected, we can winch this back so I can reverse back up and get it. Because I'm not going to get it there.
No, we're going to pull this way.
Yeah, but I need to put the jockey wheel on.
Yeah, well, the jockey wheel's...
And the jockey wheel's in the front cap, the front box. I don't think I'll get the jack back under now.
Bring it into side rail.
That jockey wheel is going to end up in the shit, eh? Should we put it on a max track? Like 6-7 ton programs up here? I blame you, Joe, for making me do it. I was happy with my little X1 or X2.
Yeah, but would you
don't
that much fun?
Nope. We would have been like everyone else.
Yeah.
All right, let's give that a go. Stop there. Yep. And with the help of all the max tracks and all the boys being there, we slowly winch my trailer back out onto the hard stuff.
With the trailer detached, the rear winch is free to pull the black truck out. But Lady Luck just isn't on Justin's side.
Oi, boys, I reckon we're better off rear winching. So do I. I then tried to recover my truck using the rear winch. As we pulled the rear winch out, I noticed it was really stiff coming out. The spool, the actual rope, the Dyneema had wound itself onto the spool and got a knot in there. Again, heat of the moment, you don't think about it, you just want to get the truck out. Out the way, boys. Oh, all right. Plan G, oh you good thing. Go the rear winch. Go you good thing. Okay. Just snap the winch. That's a new one. This day's getting better. Hooked the rear winch up, put the load on the thing, truck started coming out, bang. There goes the rope. Snapped it off, hook and all. So, back to another plan. I think by that stage we're about plan G. That's nasty. So all we need to do is just feed this cable back out and then we'll shorten it back down to the winch. Hold it closer. It snapped on itself because the cable is wound wrong around the drum.
It's up to you. Do you want to sit in the car and spin the wheels a bit to bring them straight? Now I'll keep digging out the mud.
I don't think it'll move. I'll give it a go.
After the dramas with the rear winch snapping on Justin 79 series, we had no choice but to pull it out front. So we decided we're going to give it a snatch.
Snatch straps can slingshot a stuck vehicle free, and the boys are over it. But it's risky on a muddy, chopped up track like this one.
All right, Joe, it's lunchtime, dude. It's been 4 hours. I'm hungry and I'm thirsty.
Can you please get me out of here, dude?
Roger that. Ready to take off.
All right, bro, when you're ready, hit it. Actually, Joe, give me a slow pull, mate. That did not feel good at all. I am genuinely concerned it's going to go over. Jamie, I do feel like it's going to go over.
Am I getting anywhere?
Just hold up, mate. I'm really am feeling like this thing's going to end up on its side.
Let me dig up this big, yeah, because you're riding up a hump now. So you're keeping to drive yourself over, but if they pop up a bit.
Are the front wheels on that Max Trax? And we started trying to winch me back onto the track. What we were finding though, it was pulling us in the wrong direction. So we were going off more into the sand pit. I pulled out my front winch and we tried to balance the car by using 2 winches and get it coming in the direction that we need. All right, winching, commencing winching. We're up to plan, what was the last one? G.
There's nothing left in the alphabet.
I think we're plan I now.
Go full driving, they said. It'd be fun, they said.
Yeah. Let's just go back and help those guys out.
By hooking the 79 series winch to the right, we were able to keep it moving forward, keep it stable.
Get some Max Trax under it.
We ended up feeding a lot of Max Trax in underneath that front left-hand wheel to try and get it some traction and get it moving.
Okay, drop that winch. We had all the boys on the shovels, and I think we had about 20 Max Trax out there as well. We were losing Max Trax. They're getting buried into the sand, one after the other. But slowly and surely, we kept pulling, and got the thing out. In those situations, it's always good to have guys with you who know what they're doing and understand how mechanical things work. My brother, Jamie, I think that was the time that he really came into shine. He was all over it. He was controlling the whole situation. I really sat in the truck, you know, with the winch buttons and just letting my foot off the clutch, keeping it rolling, and Jamie was handling everything that was going on. It was gold to have him there with us.
Justin's brother Jamie was a Subaru race engineer in the States, but right now he's a long way from the track.
Once the truck finally popped out, I was absolutely stoked until somebody said to me, "You got to go get those Max Trax," and that's when it just sunk for me again.
Not going anywhere.
Oh yeah, she's going everywhere.
Not going anywhere.
Everywhere but up.
Yeah.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Before you know it, I was knee deep, elbow deep, just digging in there trying to get them out. A few of them we ended up sticking the winch down there, hooking it around the holes on the Max Trax and pulling them out. They were that far buried. I didn't think we were going to recover them all, but we ended up getting them all out.
So after the whole adventure, we got the whole thing out, we hooked the trailer back up, got Joe hooked back up, and we just gave it the beans all the way back to the homestead.
That's so.
All right, boys, we are out.
Well, we are out.
It's always good in these situations to have a lot of people around because everybody seems to know what's going on. But when it's your brothers, you don't even have to talk about it because it's just there. You've bonded for such a long period of time, you know exactly what each person has to do. And luckily, me and Justin, we always just seem to work like that.
Everybody was over it. Everyone had had enough. We were covered head to toe once again. All the gear was filthy. The truck's filthy, full of mud. Getting it back onto the hard pack road. All the wheels are off balance. Da-dunk, 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 da-dunk. You know, as we're driving down the road, stuff flicking off everywhere. But we got back to the homestead, regrouped with all the boys, had a real quick feed, and rolled out of the station. All right, boys, so it looks like we're out, heading back onto the main road. So what's the plan, guys? What are we thinking?
Beach.
Beach? We want to hit the beach or the telly track?
Beach first.
Joe, you down for that, mate?
Yeah, mate, beach sounds great.
All right, we'll head to the beach. We'll unpack all this gear and we'll go for run up the beach for a couple of nights, eh? See if we can find some more of those barrel.
After being off the grid for the last few nights, and with a few muddy recoveries under their belts, the crew take the opportunity to clean up and regroup before their R&D trip continues.
Next destination was Captain Billy's Landing. All the boys were pumped, all ready for the next adventure, but I think they were all like me. I was kind of stressing on the way out there. What am I going to do now? How am I going to keep these guys entertained after what just happened?
That's can't just rock up and go jump in, eh? That's right. You've got to be in the mule from the start to the finish. You've got to
You got to experience the D&B, the R&B, and the hip hop on with the D. What? Did you say that? No! Yeah, you did. Yeah!
So part of my job is, I suppose, team leader on this trip. You know, the guy who's really steering the ship is ensuring that everybody has a good time. Keeping the morale in a group of this size is a really, really difficult task. And it's not something that I've completely mastered. It's an absolute emotional roller coaster. There's ups and downs. There's moments where the boys, they start getting a little bit aggravated with some of the situations. Someone wants to go here, someone wants to go there. I want to do this, no, I want to do that. But trying to keep everyone together, that's my job on this trip. And that's one of those things that I really get a little bit of enjoyment out of anyway.
Everyone's exhausted after a massive day, so it's into camp for some hard-earned rest.
We pulled up camp at about 10 or 11 o'clock. Everybody had a quick cup of hot noodles and straight into bed. 4 in the morning, I'm banging back on everyone's tents. Boys, let's roll. Next adventure, it's time to go. Got the convoy together, we mowed it up.
Okay, good little sleep, yeah?
Yeah.
You guys feel refreshed?
Yeah.
We've got to make that tide. If we don't get down to the beach, if we miss that low tide, we're not going anywhere today, yeah?
The boys are up before sunrise and stop in for breakfast at Bramwell Junction on their way to Billy's Landing. But Tommy stumbled onto something and he's keen to show the twins.
That's the pie right there. See that one?
And
Beef,
the,
cheese and bacon pie, that's the one.
And the fabulous beef pie.
What are you up to, Justin?
We've got a bit of a problem. I don't think the alternator in the truck's keeping up with the whole program, yeah?
Yeah.
So the trailer's not charging. We're running 5 batteries in this thing. So the truck's all charging lithium, the 2 batteries in the truck, but we're not getting enough voltage down to the trailer. So we've just rigged up the Jenny in the back. We're gonna get this running. Plug this straight into the trailer and we'll just let it run. We'll just check that BMS. There we go. 240, 100%, we are on. We'll let that run while we're driving, mate. Good to go, let's roll. All the boys, with their own individual personality, have a role on the trip. We have the mechanic, we have the funny guy. You know, we've got the team leader, we've got the experienced guy, we've got the young kids. And that can be frustrating sometimes in itself. You've got to remember at the end of the day, everybody's up here for a different reason. But I tell you one thing, with the mix of personalities that we have here, I wouldn't have it any other way. When we pulled up to Captain Billy's Landing, the disappointment, there's no words that can describe it. Road closed. This is a bit of a stuff up. Time to make another plan, again. Another amateur mistake on my part. Always calling ahead, finding out what the roads are like, speaking to the locals, calling the local councils and checking road conditions is one of the things that will really keep you going on your journey and get you to your destinations. I made a phone call to the local rangers. They told me there was no way we were getting down there. The track was closed for another 2 weeks for major roadworks. Next spot will be Usher Point, right?
You're on the Usher Point, buddy.
Yep. I think we go up to Usher Point. Yeah?
Yeah.
Because we can still hit that river that we want to hit, but instead of coming from the south, we'll just come in from the north. So, what do? You turn around and head away? Nope, not a chance. We got the Heamer out, looked for another point. The Logan Jack River was the whole point of us getting down onto the beach. I found another point, Usher. We had to cross the Jardine River, told all the boys, everybody fired back up again, the morale come back, everybody was pumped. We hit the road, crossed the Jardine River.
The Jardine River is the largest river of the Cape York Peninsula, and the Patriot crew crossed the ferry bridge 1 vehicle at a time.
Crossing the Jardine River ferry is not really a monumental journey, but it's one of those bucket list items. You just know you're 1 step closer to making the top. All right, boys, so that's the Jardine River crossing done. We're going to bank right up here, head 60 k's down to the beach, and then unload all the gear and head to the Logan Jack River, yeah?
Yeehaw! We're pumped, except for the fact that Christian just spilled Coke all over my car.
That makes me happy.
The boys make their way to Usher Point, but it's rough going as they head north.
On the way through, there were quite a few obstacles for the big trailers. There were trees that were falling down, a lot of stumps there. There was a lot of opportunity for carnage. Staking a tyre is what I was most worried about. When we actually popped up into the area where you could see the beach, once again, the tables turned. Everybody was absolutely pumped, and I've never, ever in my life seen trailers unloaded that quickly. Okay, we need a trailer on the back of this one. Chase, get everything out of that X2. You've got to run it as light as possible. All right. All the gear was off within a heartbeat. I didn't even have to say anything to anyone. Everybody knows their jobs by now. Quads off, tinnies off, outboards on, loaders, fishing rods, the whole lot, straight into the back of all the Polaris gear, and we were off down the beach. So once the commotion had all settled down and we were actually all hooked up, all the Polarises fired up, and we were heading down that headland, it really hit home for me. One of my own personal challenges was about to be realised. Now, ever since Patriot Campers' inception, our whole goal is making the most compact and lightest weight functional trailer that we possibly can. And I was about to definitely prove the point with the help of my Polaris Ranger. Now, we had the Ranger right at its limit. The X2 weighs 700 kilos, and that's the towing capacity of the Ranger. I had spare belts with me, and we had all the recovery gear that we needed. But I knew if this trip was going to be a success, this was going to open the doors to more adventures for Patriot Campers.
The X2 is the main reason for this R&D trip, so pulling it behind a buggy on a sandy North Queensland beach is a vision realised for Justin.
Getting that X2 down onto the hard sand and clicking that Polaris Ranger into high range, looking around me, seeing the smiles on everyone's faces, I knew that we've accomplished something that nobody else has done. We were off to the headland.
Dad's there with one of the boys on the back, and he's got the boat behind him, and then Joe and Johnny are in their Polaris with another boat, and seeing that X2 cruising down the beach on the back of that Polaris was something pretty special.
I could see the headland in the distance. All the boys were still stressing out. I didn't want to burst that little bubble either, because I know that feeling of adventure, when you don't really know if you're going to make it or not, that's what keeps you going. We hit the headland and I could see the relief on everyone's faces as we weaved our way through the rocks. It was only a 5K journey down the beach, but that 5Ks, it could have been 100Ks, could have been 1,000Ks, it wouldn't have mattered. If we had the sunlight and the low tide, I could drive that beach all day.
Once we got out onto the beach, it was pretty special to see the ocean down on the left and the big sand dunes on the right, and not another person in sight, no tracks, nothing. It was like we had our own little secluded piece of paradise.
After a thrilling run up the beach, the crew finally arrive at the mouth of the Logan Jack Creek and what will become camp for the night. But getting set up for camp won't be easy.
So Dad, you want to come around the bottom on that hard stuff and then straight up beside this log, but you're going to have to give it to it, eh?
When I was younger, I used to spend a lot of time on trips with Dad, and we used to see him go on the quads and motorbikes a fair bit, but it's been quite a few years since I've seen him on a quad or a motorbike, and to see him on that quad, giving it a go just as hard as any of us younger boys, it was pretty special.
The Polaris quads pull the tinnies up onto the soft sand without much trouble. But the real challenge will be towing the 700 kilogram X2 up onto flat ground.
Yep, keep pushing. Let's go. Giving it large, Tommy. Giving it large. Oh, don't like that. Yeah, boy. And that's how you do that. Once we got into the campsite and we had the X2 set up, I took a good look around. I could see a few of the boys heading off in the tinny. My sons were down on the beach fishing with my old man. A few of the boys were setting up the campfire, standing around having a beer, and just another one of those moments that you'll only get in Cape York.
Surrounded by palm trees and white sandy beaches, seems like the perfect place to enjoy a nice cold one. If someone remembered to bring the beer.
It's got to last us the whole trip, hey?
I'm allowed to break dude, I bought it. Yeah,
How'd you go? Did you make it there or not?
We had no luck on the beer. And I'd just like to officially express my disappointment in Tommy for not bringing the beer. Now the tide's come up, and it's right up to the headland and we can't pass, and we're here on a remote beach in the top of Cape York, and it's hot and it's sunny and we're on a remote beach.
Come on, Tommy. You're better than that.
Speaking in English.
The boys finish up the day with a massive fry-up and it's off to bed for a comfy night's sleep. That is until the volatile coastal weather strikes.
Morning, boys. How'd you sleep? Come on. Come about 1 o'clock in the morning, the wind must have picked up over 30 knots and it started howling through the camp. Straight after that, the rain started and it was absolutely pounding down. You sleep all right?
Yeah.
How was that rain and that wind last night?
Yeah, that was hectic.
That sucked, huh? Getting up in the middle of the night. Come on, I'll get you guys some brekkie. Look at what the boys went through last night. Come and have a look at this. See the barricade? Look at them all. All barricaded, blocked in with Polarises and chairs, and we definitely got some rain last night.
I'll tell you what, I was happy when that sun came up because my swag was soaking wet from all that wind and rain last night.
Do you reckon this is going to stop a croc?
No.
The baseball chair? No, I don't think so. All the boys were set up in their swags in a nice tight little huddle with all of the gear around, all of the chairs. Everybody's definitely getting croc savvy. 3 of us were safe because we're up nice and high in the trailer.
Yeah.
So,
It's awesome.
who cares about them?
Yeah.
Yeah? Brekkie time?
Yes.
Let's get some food.
Justin loads the tinny into the water and he and the twins are off to explore the Logan Jack Creek.
Launching.
Crocs are on everyone's minds and the boys set off in search for signs of the saltwater monsters.
It's not very well fished, this river. Not many people can get down here. We definitely got to see a croc up here. How good's this, boys? Let's have a bit of an explore up on this beach, eh? Look how good this looks. If there wasn't crocs around here, you'd spend the day here, wouldn't you? You reckon they'd come up into here?
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of cruise around, have a bit of a feed? Yeah? That's definitely pig, man. See this? See these little trotters? Some there. He's not a real big guy, but the pig trucks are going, they're leading right down there. So he's probably come down to this water, obviously looking for something. And you know what? He might have got snapped by a croc. Because that's what they do. They come down to the water and they feed along the water's edge or have a drink. Probably not here, a little bit further up. And big crocs come in, whack, gone. See ya. That's why you got to stay away from the edge of the water. So there's snakes, pigs, there's all sorts of stuff around here. Yeah? Really want to see one of those crocs, bud.
Yeah, I know.
You want to go and have a look for one?
Yeah.
Let's go see if we can find one before we have a fish. We ended up going up the river as far as we possibly could before it got too shallow. Keep an eye out for slides, mate.
Yeah.
This is so cool, boys. This is awesome.
I just got a fish.
This looks like something out of a movie, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, baby! Babies.
Baby what?
Crocs.
Oh my God, it is too. We came across a couple of croc nests and Christian actually spotted about a dozen baby crocs running off the bank. They come down the bank and exploded into the water, little splashes. There's one there right on the edge of the bank. Ashton, you drive. One of the things that really amazed me, even at that age, just how wary those little crocs were. They wouldn't come within a couple of metres of the tinny. I really wanted to catch one for the kids so they could have a little bit of a look at it. Good spotting. See that tunnel where it's all pushed over, all the grass is all pushed down? There. That's where Mum would be up in there. But we just couldn't get close enough to them.
Justin calls off the search for a big salty, but it's hard to stay disappointed when you're in a place like this.
My old man actually got another one of his gulls. He caught a hammerhead shark. He got it straight into the beach. My brother went to grab the leader and ended up dropping it. But he does have the footage to prove it. Another destination ticked. How much better is this trip gonna get?
Next time on Patriot Games, the Patriot Campers R&D crew swap the solitude of one beach camp for the creature comforts of another.
All right, here goes nothing. Engaging low range.
But it becomes painfully obvious that getting down onto the beach
Dude, I thought we'd make it heaps further than that.
was much easier than getting the gear off. But on their way, disaster strikes when Chase's brakes fail and Joe almost loses a wheel. And the whole crew finally make it to the top, one way or another.